Alright guys, so we're back with our second video in our Python programming series. In this video we're going to talk about variables. Now variables are a general fundamental concept in programming. They're pretty much the first thing that you learn in any introductory course in programming. And variables are just containers that can hold data. Okay, that's all it is. That's all a variable is. It's kind of like in math when you have, x equals 5. X in this case is a variable and it has the value 5. In programming, it's the same concept, and variables have a lot of use cases. The most common use case is to just hold data, and that data can represent the state of the application. So let's say, for example, we have a variable called age that holds the user's age, right? Let's say you sign up for an application, or you sign up for a website, and you enter in your name, your age, and etc., right? And over time, during the runtime of the application, over time, your age might update, right? It might go from 20 to 21 or 22 to 23 and etc., right? So that is basically kind of like the state of the application. The state of your age went from one value to another value. Okay, so you can actually reuse variables over time in your program to either get the value of it, do some mathematics with it, whatever you want. Okay. Now, when it comes to variables, of course, you need to give your variables a name. In Python, it's common to use snake case when it comes to naming variables. I'll show you guys what that means in just a sec. And there are a couple rules when it comes to naming your variables. The first thing is you can only start your variable with a letter or underscore. So your variable cannot start with a number. And your variable names can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. So let's actually take a look at a couple examples. We're going to go into our text editor, Visual Studio Code. I have my workspace opened up for my folder that I created from the last video, and I have my terminal open up here. If you want to open up the terminal, just click on terminal and click new terminal, and that should open it up inside the current directory that we're opened up over here. We're going to create a new file called var.py, or I'll name it variables.py. And to declare a variable, all we need to do is we just need to give it a name. That's it. So we're going to say my underscore name. Okay, now this is called snake case. Snake case is basically the practice where for every word that you have in your variable, you want to separate it with an underscore. Okay, if you come from a Java background, you'll realize that you've probably been using camel case the entire time. So instead of separating each word with an underscore, we actually have the first word's first letter lowercase, and then every other letter after for every word is capitalized. So my name or my first name. So you would see the second word, the first letter is capitalized, and the third word, the first letter is capitalized as well. Okay, that's called camel case. But in Python, we use snake case. Okay, so my first name, let's just do Anson. Okay, we're basically assigning this variable the value of Anson, which is a string. Okay, and a string is just a sequence of characters. We'll go over strings in just a bit, but I just want to show you guys that this is just a simple variable. Okay, and if I want to print this variable out to the console, I can use the print function, and this just takes in one argument, so we can actually just pass in this variable inside this parentheses over here. And now let's actually run our program. So let's say python variables.py, and you're going to see it prints out the value of our variable my underscore first underscore name. Okay, pretty cool. And of course, we can do much more with our variables as well. We can give our variable a numeric type. So this is a number 22. So we can print out my underscore age. And then if I print that out, it's going to say Anson and then 22 on the next line. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about strings and let's talk a little bit about numbers. So these are known as data types. In programming, you're always going to have data types. Okay, data types are pretty much different types of data. That's it. So you can have different, types like a string, which is just a sequence of characters. You can have a numeric type, which is either a integer or a float. And there's also, I think, complex numbers in Python. So we can also do something like total balance. We can do something like 4500.220. So we're basically giving this variable a floating point number of 4500.20. Okay? And likewise, in other languages too, we also have Boolean values. So Boolean values are just either true or false. So we can do something like is male, and that's going to be true. Okay? Is female, that's going to be false. Okay, so far all we've done was we just declared a couple variables and we assigned them literal values. Okay, we assigned my first name the value of a string. We assigned my age the value of a number, or the type of a number, I'm sorry. We assigned total balance a numeric type, and we assigned is male and is female both Boolean data types. Okay, so these are different types of data in Python. Okay, now there's also other types as well, such as sequence types, which are pretty much like lists, dictionaries, etc. But we're not going to talk about that in this video. That's going to be for a later video when we get into more complex stuff. Okay, but these are pretty much the basic 3 data types that you're going to be using. Remember, we have the string, okay, which is just a sequence of characters, and of course that can be pretty much any single character on your keyboard. So we can have $signs, hashtags, we can have percentages, caret signs, everything. It's just a sequence of characters. Okay, numeric types again are just numbers, so integers, floating points, right? I think in complex numbers, and then Boolean values, so true or false. Okay, and that's pretty much it when it comes to variables. Okay, and we can also reassign values of variables too. So let's just say, for example, at some point, my age, the value of that, I want to give it a different value. I can change it to 23. And if I print out my age, and if I log into the console, you're going to see my age is now 23. So we are reusing this variable. We are reassigning the value of this variable with the value 23. The literal value 23. Okay? Cool. And I think that's it with variables. It's a very, very simple concept. Remember, all variables are just containers that hold data. That's it. There's nothing more special about variables. They're just containers that hold a piece of information for a temporary amount of time, or it could hold it for the entire lifespan of the program. Okay, so that's all I have for variables. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.